Hi folks, my name is Christian Ramirez, web developer for Wick Communications. Today we're going to go through the basics of Photoshop, and we're going to create a very simple ad using Photoshop. I have a logo, an image, and my text copy ready to open. So I started by opening Photoshop. Once I have Photoshop open, I can right click or control click on a Mac, select Open With, and select Adobe Photoshop. Okay, so I pulled up my logo. In my case, I'm going to do the Art Center Design College. Now I'm going to go ahead and open my other image. Okay, and I'm going to get my copy. Okay. So, in this tutorial, I'm going to create a 300 by 250 medium rectangle ad. So I'm going to go to File, New, and I'm going to set a name. Give it its width. I want to make sure I'm selecting pixels, a height, resolution 72, RGB color, and I'm gonna leave it in transparent. Now I'm gonna go ahead and make it a black background by simply selecting the arrows here. It'll switch over and set the foreground color to black. I can change the color if I need to in my color picker by selecting only web colors, scrolling up and down until I find the color I want. In this case, I'm going to use black. I'm going to select the bucket tool, and I'm going to drop my color in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this picture here by going to Image, Image Size. Since I know that this image is going to be 300 pixels wide, I'm going to make sure it's 72 resolution, and I'm going to make sure that these are set to pixels, and I'm going to set it to 300. One thing we want to do is we want to hit Constraint Proportions. What that basically does is make sure that the height is consistent to the width. So I'm going to see what that does. Okay, that's too small, so I'm going to do some playing around with this image. So I'm probably going to go for 600. That's much better. Maybe a little bigger. I'll do 700. I'm going to copy this over. So I'm going to select it by going to Select All, and I'm going to go to Edit Copy, and I'm going to go over to my other window tab and paste it in there. So now I see that it's a little too big, so I'm going to have to resize again. So I'm going to go to Edit, Free Transform, and now I can resize the image again. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave it at that right there. Make sure it's kind of centered at the same time. Yeah, that's fine. And I'm going to go under Image. I'm going to go under Adjustments. And I'm going to play around with my colors. I'm going to make them a little darker. The curves actually makes things lighter and a little darker for you, so you could play around with that. You could actually play the color balance as well. A little reddish tone there. That's what I want right there. Okay, so now I'm ready to drop my logo in there. So I go to my logo, and let's say I need to crop on this. There's all these other white space in there that I need to take off. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna carefully select a little tighter, and let's say that's not the selection I want it. I can right click or control click on a Mac and select transform selection, and I can move my selection in a little tighter, and then press enter on your keyboard, and I think that's what I want. So I'm now going to copy, go back to my tab, and drop the logo in. So as you see here, you have a layers palette here, so you could actually play around with what image goes on top. So if for example, if I move the logo down, that means the picture is on top. So I actually want the logo at the top, so you can also name these. So if you double click on the text, you can name them so you know what they are. Okay, so now I'm going to drag my logo by selecting the move tool slightly where I kind of think I want it, and I'm going to go to edit, free transform. I'm going to resize my logo, let's say right about there. I'm going to place my logo where I want it to be. And another trick is if you select your rectangular marquee tool and click and drag, you can also, and then go back to your move tool, you can also center by going up in here and clicking the center, the line tool, center align tool. So now you've got your logo centered, your image where you kind of want it. So you want to move your image so you only go back to your other layer, you move it to where you want it to be. That's perfect right there. Okay, so there I have my first slide. So now I need to create a second slide for my copy, right? So let's say, let me check my text. Maybe I could add some text onto that field there, onto that creative here. Let's see, where's my text? Okay, so let's add the College for Smart Artists onto there. And all I have to do is click on the horizontal type tool, click on the creative, and paste the text. So you'll see it's black. You can see that the color selected to black here on the text color. So we want to make that white. So all we have to do is click on the icon and move the mouse around to whatever color we want. So I'm gonna go for that greenish right there. Okay, so now once I'm done, or you can, if you want to change the type of the font of the text, you could actually hit the text drop down here, and you get a preview of the font. And I want to choose, let's try Gothic. Okay, I'll go with Gothic. And I want to change the size of the font. That's too big. Let's try 21. And I can move my text around as well. And let's say you want to add a drop shadow to your text or a glow. You can do so by selecting it on your layers palette. I'm going to move my text over to the top, and I'm going to click on the add a layer style icon at the bottom and get my blending tools. So let's try an outer glow on this one. My palette over there. Whoop, that's too much. I can move around the opacity up and down. And I could add drop shadow. I could add a stroke to it. So these are the basics on how to change the size on an image, how to manipulate the image and add text and resize, etc. And hopefully by going through this tutorial maybe once or twice, you'll get the hang of it and be able to do the changes that need to be done in order to add these graphics onto Impact Engine.